Hello, hello. My name is Steph. If you'd like to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. We're going to drop some ink on this scroll in the MUSE of the throat chakra and scry for any shapes and symbols that may speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We're going to add on some tarot and oracle. And where Mr. Ghost Gift is here kicking, we have Ghost Tube for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our auric adventures. Overall, please do receive or release freely. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. Let's go. Let's go, throat chakra. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. Throat. If you're new here, just a reminder, we are just dropping ink to create a portal to perceive in, less worrying about making a masterpiece. It's really more about me than you, but just as a reminder. As well, always feel well to comment below what you see, sense, or feel, as your reflections do deepen and expand the expressions, nurturing our interconnected nature.
Where are you?
We will flip it. I am here. Where are you? I think that's where I'm feeling. Woo! Oh, there's a cat here right there. I'll just leave it. Can I leave it? Oh. We're good. Got the cat here. I can't remember what I was saying. We'll flip it and we'll be back here tomorrow. For perspective possibilities. Yes, we're taking flight. So when you're ready, if you haven't already fast forwarded through, but that's okay if you have, to our MUSE, the throat chakra, if you'd like to take a nice deep breath. Close the eyes. Cleansing the palette of perception. Releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of anyone here at any time. Thank you for being my muse, and may you meet a message with meaning. There you go. Sorry about the lighting. Hopefully you can see it. If you'd like to take a screenshot so you can scry on your own time, please feel well to do so. Personal use only. Just artist rights. I have to say that apparently. Look at this. Ooh. Okay. And, well, now you know why. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave it.
Framed.
Reframed. Or, if you're like me, you've been working on framing pieces. Finding thrifty frames to frame pieces. Okay, so let's dive right in here. Sorry if I've just been like lollygagging. There's a being here. It's kind of like in the worm spirit, like there's a head here and a head here, like both. It's like my root is in my crown and my crown is in my root. Double-headed. I have my hands in water and they're okay. My hands are genie lamps. It's like rubbing your hands together, cultivating energy, perhaps, or warming. Sorry if you hear any gunshots. That is my neighbor. It's all good. Everything's safe. Everything's fine. Generating some sort of heat or playing with that magic. But there's something about hands in water. I feel like I am either blessing the water, working with water energy, whatever the case is, something about that. And then it comes into my throat and it brings me into the tragically hip Gordy, the singer.
I'm inside
and
it.
And he would wear like a warming neck thing around his throat for his vocal cords to stay warm. I feel like when I'm doing this from like the magic lamp hands is that some of you might have really good conversation skills with the spirit of all things. Whatever arena, channel, element you might be working with at that time.
Stroke.
And your hands speak to... It's like they're the mouth, but they can create the conversation through hands. I'm not necessarily talking about me like how I'm all animated. Maybe for some that's the case. Like, you know, you're kind of like moving energy. But this is more so the way I'm feeling like maybe like massaging, or maybe you cook, something about like, it's communicating, or Reiki, or tapping. You could even be a coder or computer person, because there's and this is a communication that is happening. It's like my throat doesn't say it. My body, my hands do something to create the communication of speaking. Does that make sense? Okay, the reason why I feel like this is shared is because as I do this in here, there are other energies that come forward to receive. Like if you were a fountain, sharing from the overflow, not from a place of, is the cup half empty or half full? This is overflow.
Come here.
So I really feel like I'm working with life force substance, energy elixirs. I might also be learning a lot about alchemy. It doesn't have to be alchemy in the sense of like, I don't want to put science per se. It is but one expression of alchemy. It's like alchemy is the art. The art of alchemy. In whatever place you would want to apply your art. And others can receive from it. Like maybe work at Subway. The point is like making a sandwich, and you can make a sandwich, but you can also make a sandwich. Do you know what I mean? Like somehow you are blessing or bringing an energy frequency of love without saying anything, with voice of the throat. The throat is connected. I know you know what I'm saying, and I apologize that I'm just like rambling on, but I want you to know how well it feels, and that you're appreciated. It's almost because I'm getting this air, because you can't say anything, somebody else may or may not have the skills or sensitivities, and that's absolutely okay, to appreciate what you're doing. But there are others that do, and though it may never be said to you, I know I'm saying to you, it's noticed, it's honored, and appreciated. This isn't in like some martyr kind of way. This feels like a living way. Just living and loving your lifestyle. And whatever like hands. Okay. Yeah. I'll bring these up to you in just a moment. I'm just going to get my bearings. Okay. So in the event, on the bottom we have healing. Healing. Literally healing waters. Like if I could just insert this card and all the colorings in the step twos, The Dream Temples of Asclepius, Greece. I hope they probably didn't say that right. I'm seeing like Aquaman kind of stuff, but it's more about like utilizing the water within the body. There's something about a different kind of hydration.
Never.
Finding what actually hydrates. Because I have a feeling someone out here specifically may drink a lot of water, like do the things that you know, that are said to do to feel nourished and hydrated, but somehow I never feel hydrated, or I'm always thirsty. And there might be some sort of research or science or other updated versions or information about hydration. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't actually know myself, but and even maybe because this is like that cup with the overflow cup, and I don't know, like Celtic stuff is coming through. That's just bringing me into like am I saying that right? Celtic cup? Celtic cup.
Tunnel.
I'm right in this canal. I was going to call it a canal, but tunnel, absolutely. And I'm swimming. Some of you might be in a swim meet. It's also something about my throat of like swimming through the channel of maybe it's Kundalini energy for you. Life force once again, spinal fluid specifically, especially in like the flexibility card up here. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to you so you can read them as well. Deliberation, if the artistry means anything to you, or if anything is standing out, please follow that. And then I have creativity, flexibility, trust, and magic. And the magic is in the Cave of Earth. If you're familiar with me, I'm using the shaman's palm. I feel like this is what I'm doing to when I'm being of service. Like it's just through my being. I can be doing laundry. I can be a CEO. And I'm connected. I am connected to something of an energy of myself that when I speak, I am deliberate in my speech. I'm compassionate. I'm tough. I'm very much so behind what I'm saying because I've taken time to feel. And almost like, if I may, deliberate with other points of view, even within myself. Maybe you have a team of people that you work with that work for you, or your spirit team, or your guides. I see water dancing around you. I see water dancing. I come up here into the creativity in the cave of winds in my thoughts, and it's like I want to paint the world. But I kind of come back into whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever it is that I'm infusing. And maybe you work with crystals. Maybe you're an editor, you're an IT person, and no matter what you're doing with the keys or the codes, and you're here, so kudos, because it's like creatively communicating. It's almost like in order for this picture to exist, the paint had to, come into fruition, the paintbrush or the finger, the canvas, the painter, the willingness to paint. All of these alchemical archetypes step forward. And then imagine if this was digital.
I'm inside
and
it.
I may not know, like as Steph, I don't know. Okay, I see like the digital art, or somebody's made a video game, or they've made a code so that your office has security. All I see is this though, the after art, right? But the work behind all of this to maintain this, I just got to throw it in here quickly.
Sister.
There is an episode in Charmed early on, possibly even the first season. Anyway, there's a picture and there's someone stuck in the picture. Stuck, placed, put. What I feel and what I'm saying, do they resonate to create this landscape that makes me feel full, flexible, alive, to create and to have experiences? Or do they constrain and almost like imprison myself? If they don't match up, I feel like that might be a construct. I'm seeing a coder again, and I know nothing about such things. But it's almost like if a coder is like, oh, I want a blue tree over here, but they keep typing in red arm. And they're like, but why am I not seeing blue tree? And while they might be like, okay, I need to like actually say through my fingers, through my hands, blue tree, but they're like, that's still not the blue tree I want. Blue tree with this. And I'm sure that's not the way it is, but that's the way I, in my simplest way, can see it. Anyway, okay, moving on. Because there is it's like moving through this flexibly, while the canal, the tunnel may not be.
Capricorn.
The frame may not be flexible. It's structured, but I can move freely, backswim, side stroke, whatever the case may be, through there. And there are people cheering me on the sides as well. I feel like I am, I feel like I'm coming up to a part that's deeper, because the blue is deeper, the teal is deeper. Sorry, I know the lighting's not great today with that. There's something in here. And maybe you're heading into that space, or have already, and you're coming out on, I'll say, the other side. But really it's just like the canal. It continues. The canal continues of creation. Got to write that down too. Trust is coming in with this ship, and even with the waters. The canal of creation. And it's trusting in that while it may feel turbulent, clearing your throat or singing
Trash.
can help soothe. It's like taking out the trash in your throat. Like clearing your throat is almost like taking the trash out and clearing that up. There could be a lot of emotions that, especially if you're like empathically speaking and you don't speak it, there's just a lot of feeling and it comes through the body, and I almost feel like I'm seizing up when I wander in there because I'm not saying anything. But it's like my throat chakra saying,
back off.
You don't have to use just your voice. There are other ways to communicate. A picture says 1,000 words. A hug can help more than anything than anyone could say sometimes. A wave or a smile can make a day. That's the magic. That's the overall healing that happens as we move through this. There's also a bridge being made that is casting what appears, well, I shouldn't say appears, like it appears there's a shadow on the surface of my water, because my upper mind or my brain, for my surface dwellings of thoughts, to-dos, whatever the case is building a bridge over this canal, not through it. It's not creating any sort of turbulence there. It's going over it. But it's casting by there being something in density there. Does that make sense? I feel like it does. So it's like I take a moment and go, oh, it's not as shadowy and as dark as I thought. And I can see, maybe I decide to, do the backstroke. And for some, it might also be like sleeping on the left side. And it can help the body organs by sleeping on the left side. So you might have less congestion. Maybe you're working through like gargling with salt water or something along that lines. But the point being is like the throat works through more channels than just the throat. It's like this is a frame, but not the only frame. And there's so much magic through you singing, even humming, being very, soothing and activating music as you're swimming along. Wherever it is that you're going, saying unto oneself, maybe you write it down, or maybe you're like me, you like to, paint something out. But you're flowing and it's magical, and you are, if someone's in doubt of their healing, you are healing. You're also receiving a lot from all the elements around you. Take a nice big deep breath. Maybe it's like being by the sea and taking in that salt water. and then being in the desert and taking in that dry heat. Like there's benefits everywhere. Okay, I'm going to flip
Healing.
this. It's so healing. I will see you tomorrow, and until then, so much love. Bye. Cut the deck, not the cheese. Flow, the River Nile, Egypt. Oh my goodness. And it's just like this flow card with the pyramids and the River Nile. It's all very yellow, just like we were talking about, like dry heat, to the healing card that's the very blues and greens. That's kind of like ocean. Oh,